Hello and welcome back to Hot Take here on No Bullshit, where we review the latest movies and give you our hot take on them. Today's topic, Ant-Man and the Wasp, the much anticipated sequel from 2015's Ant-Man, starring Paul Rudd. But does this sequel hold up to the original? And does it bring something new with the Wasp character? We're going to talk about that now, today, on Hot Take. In short, this movie was an excellent sequel, and they did a lot of great things with the story. It was really awesome to see a lot of the Wasp in this movie, for sure. She had some awesome fight scenes, some really cool karate moves, and even wings and lasers she shot and everything. It was a lot of fun to watch her. But I have to say, I was a little disappointed in having less Ant-Man in this movie. He did have his moments and he had a few jokes, but it kind of felt like he was a little bit pushed to the side. He wasn't as badass as the Wasp, that's for sure. I know Ant-Man isn't as good a fighter in the story, but I was expecting something a little better when he fought the boss Ghost later on in the movie. But I won't get too far into that with spoilers. All in all, Ant-Man 2 or Ant-Man and the Wasp was a good movie, but it did let me down in a few places. Not in a totally bad way, but more in a nitpicky way. I think I was expecting a lot out of this movie. I was a big fan of the first Ant-Man. I thought they hit that one out of the park, and I have to say the sequel, I'm not sure, but it let me down a little bit. The main thing was they did a little bit too much forced comedy, especially at the beginning of the movie. There was a lot of extra jokes and a lot of hamming it up with the actors, and they did great. The actors were awesome. I just felt like it wasn't earned as much because it came out right the gate with a bunch of dumb jokes. And again, there wasn't enough cool Ant-Man stuff. The main thing he does in this movie is he grows big a few times and he does his whole giant Ant-Man thing, the Giant Man thing, and that was fun to watch, but there wasn't really any good fighting from it. And I have to say, another letdown in this movie was there was no clear villain either. There was the Ghost character, you might have seen him in the trailers. It was the chick with the white suit on, and she would like teleport through things, phase through things, and she was pretty cool, but there was no boss villain above her. It was just her. It felt like a couple of henchmen, because there was another villain in there. Walt Goggins was in the movie, and I think he did a great job, but he kind of just does what he normally does. He's a southern gentleman type, but also sketchy, also has some crime elements to him, and he added to the Ghost character, so they had these two side villains, but like no big main villain. Which brings me to the story. The story summary for Ant-Man and the Wasp goes as follows. Basically, the Wasp and her dad, who's the original Ant-Man, Dr. Pym, played by Michael Douglas, by the way, who does another excellent performance in this movie. Well, him and his daughter Hope are looking for their long-lost mother. They're going into the quantum realm to try and find her. They build this tunnel, and eventually Ant-Man, Paul Rudd, gets involved because they need his help to get this thing started. There's a couple other people trying to steal the technology, and you can kind of imagine where the story goes from there. All in all, it was a pretty cool story. It wasn't bad. It was just kind of that side story. We just got through Avengers and Black Panther, which were much bigger set pieces, world-shattering things, and Ant-Man, it kind of stays in his own realm. The other thing I would say about this movie is, if you thought Ant-Man was funny and it was kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy, well, this movie goes full-on comedy, basically. A lot more jokes, a lot more laughs thrown in there, and it really reminds me of the Thor Ragnarok as well, that pushed a lot of comedy, but this one was even further. I feel like Ant-Man is just embracing it now. They're going full-on farce at sometimes. They make some topical jokes. They reference other Avengers and other characters, other Marvel characters, and it's a lot of fun. I think originally Ant-Man and Guardians of the Galaxy were both kind of like the funny Marvel movies, and then Thor jumped in a little bit with Ragnarok, but this movie just pushed it way further, way more jokes, way more parodies, and just all going for the laughs, which wasn't bad. It was just something different. Like, I felt like in Ant-Man 1, there was just a few jokes in there, and then Paul Rudd was funny, and he had his funny friends, but this movie went all out. In the end, I may have some complaints, and I may nitpick a little bit here and there, but I still really liked the movie. It still was well done. It had a lot of fun things in there, a lot of laughs, probably more than I hoped for, but it still worked out in the end, and overall, it's a good movie and a good addition to the Marvel franchise. With all that said, let's go ahead and bring out the hot take meter. I will easily give Ant-Man and the Wasp 3.5 flames out of 5. Not quite a 4, not quite an excellent, awesome movie, but definitely better than a 3 as well. 3 I would say is kind of average, above average. This one did a good job of raising the stakes for sure. It raised the stakes from the last Ant-Man movie, but at the same time, it was definitely on a smaller scale story compared to the other Avengers ones. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Hot Take, everyone. Next week we'll be watching Skyscraper with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. See y'all then.